All right, so we're going to have a conversation now. I don't talk about her very often, but when I do talk about Candace Owens. I spoke about her in the past. Some people was like, you need to stop watching her. I don't watch her all the time. I watch her every once in a while to catch up on the craziness of, situations. To see, like, for example, if the current administration attack her, I look and see how she react to it and stuff like that. I find her, I never really used to find her interested, but I started finding her interesting more so when there was a break between her and some of the far rights and her take on that. A lot of the stuff that she says, I don't agree or believe in. I just find it interesting when someone who was so embedded in an organization and a movement, they move away from it. So I watch her. She's very interested. She's successful in what she does. So I watch her. So anyway, recently, the last couple of days, since the current administration, the leader of the current administration decided to post a photo of her when apparently, according to her, when she was the illest and the sickest, to actually torment her, I found it interesting. I said, let me see what her take is on that. I think she gave an excellent read on the leader of the administration. I was like, my mouth was like, I was like, yo, girl. Woo, Lord. I tell you, when black women, when we want to read somebody and get into some area, we could do that. So, I watched that. I was impressed with the read, I have to say. And so, I just been listening to stuff that she had to say a lot of the times. Before I go into my thought, I do want to say something. I wish she would leave Blake Lively alone. I know she is. Apparently she knows, or she looked into the case with Jason Baldoni, and apparently there was a settlement. According to the reports, I still don't understand quite, but looked like Blake Lively settled and they both happy and they both moved on. My problem with her is that leave Ryan Reynolds alone. All right, you could I would leave, as reporters, independent media, you want to talk about cases. Okay, so Blake has put herself out there to be discussed because she was part of a movie. She did a lawsuit. 10 out of the 13 charges was dropped by a judge. So there's tea there. But you're going after Ryan Reynolds because he supported his wife. Doesn't make sense to me, especially since the last couple of days you've been going after the Ayers of Daily Wire, Ben, and what's his name? Jeremy. Let me make sure. What was the person that you were? Jeremy, because they're going after your hubby. Because they'd make an allegation that your hubby wasn't here illegally, and they try to create all kind. There's a new lawsuit, not with them, but somebody else. You all over Daily Wire's be the da because they're going after your husband. Yet you upset with Ryan Reynolds for supporting his wife. You calling him a bully for going after a man that he felt, based on his wife's experience, was actually felt was inappropriate, allegedly, with his wife. So I think might just want to leave that alone a little bit, because a lot of people like myself is going to associate your behavior in protecting your husband against the Daily Wire to you criticizing Ryan Reynolds as hypocrisy. And we already know there's been a lot of hypocrisy, but I'm just saying, that's been my rule. You don't know me, sis. I just would probably just let that slide. You had a couple of digs, but I would let it slide, because especially since you're going after these people over your hubby. You understand what I'm saying? So that happens. And also, since you're such a friend and so want to support Justin, you may want to, because you're asking everybody to investigate people, you may want to realize that I'm not sure if it's true where it's going to go, but there are certain allegations as far as hostile behavior when it regards to Justin. He seemed like a nice enough guy. I wasn't in his movies, but and apparently there is another case, possibly, and according to my understanding, I was outside the courtroom. He had to settle with somebody. Now, my thing is, I'm still trying to understand that according to what I'm hearing, he settled with a staff member, right? That's what I was told. But nobody's really talking about it. So I'm curious to see, did the person settle with him the way that the situation is not being told? But apparently there was a settlement, and there's another alleged case that's still going on when it comes to him. So don't brag on this person just too much, because what I find is that once people get away with one thing and they continue, if he got away with it, because according to everyone, she did settle, so whatever happened was not as serious as it meant, and maybe she went a little too far, read too much into it. I don't know. Especially the judge dropped most of the cases, so I don't know. So he might just be a good guy, but I'm just saying that if someone behaves one way with somebody, and there's fire, there's smoke, there's usually fire. So you going all out for this guy, and we don't know what's going to happen. So anyway, I talked a little bit too much about him. What I want to talk about is you and Daily Wire. Apparently, from everything I read and some of the things that you said, the fight is between the two religions, right? So you're Catholic, and I believe they're Jewish. You don't believe in certain actions that Israel in the war, whereas they support Israel. This is what I'm getting. I try very hard not to talk about the incident because I have people in both camps, and I just can't. I'm not Palestinian Muslim, and I'm not Jewish, so it's not my fight. And both sides had incidents, so I'm just going to leave it alone. It's not my fight. So I'm not addressing that situation. Okay? What I do want to address is the fact that it seems that it may not be the religion that's the biggest issue, in my opinion. Because I've been watching these boys. You're telling me that they're attacking you, but they're not attacking, they're not really attacking Tucker Carlson or Meg or all these other people. They talk to them, they criticize them, but they're not attacking them. And you're telling me that these boys, they've been trying to sue you for years and trying to ruin you for years and stuff like that. I still had some qualms in believing that you had a real close friendship with your friend who unfortunately unalived. But it seemed to be, there was friendship. You have text, but these guys, you seem to believe the reason why they're attacking you, I think, is because of religion, where I think is a color. Yeah, I said it. I think it's a color thing. I think, if at all, and I'm just listening. Again, this is just my thought on it. I may be completely wrong. I will come out and say I'm completely wrong. But it seemed like there's been a lot of people who are not your color doing what you allegedly, they accuse you of doing. Like, talking about the widower, making certain statements in regards to your friend unalivement, and it seemed like there hasn't been any lawsuit or direct pursuit by these against a lot of people, according to your reporting. Now, there might be more stuff that we don't know, but it seemed to me that these boys woke up one day and realized that they allow a black female to join their club, right? Because I'm looking at the report and I asked, is there any black anchor on Daily Wires? One report says there's 0. Another person said that there's somebody named Sage Steele that does a voice, but pretty much they're saying, according to the report, there's 0 anchor. So you were the last anchor there, right? So it seemed to me that they got pissed off because they allowed a black female to join their crew, and they're thinking that you should behave yourself and be grateful that they even allow you to be there, and you played in their face. And as a result of you playing in their face, they're deciding to work against you to, according to you, destroy you. And they probably pissed off because you married a white male, and they want to destroy him too because you don't know your place. That's what I'm thinking. Again, it could be a religious thing, but I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just wondering if anybody thought of that. That maybe they're just pissed off that the black woman is doing better than them, and that the black woman, who they gave an opportunity, played in their face, so they have to make it a big deal. I'm just saying. I'm just asking a question, making observation. Either way, we'll see what happens. Have a nice night.